Jake Morrison stood at the command center of the orbital defense platform, drinking his morning coffee and watching Earth turn slowly below him. The blue and green planet looked peaceful in the morning light. Jake had been an admiral for 10 years, and most days were quiet like this one. He never expected March 15th, 2157 to be different. The first alarm came at 8:47 a.m. Lieutenant Ami Rodriguez ran to Jake's side, her face pale with worry. "Sir, we have massive energy readings coming from deep space. Something big is heading our way." Jake set down his coffee cup and looked at the main screen. Red dots appeared at the edge of their sensor range, moving fast toward Earth. "How many ships?" he asked. "At least 50, sir. Maybe more. They're huge, much bigger than anything we've ever built." Amy's voice shook a little. She had been in space for 5 years, but she had never seen anything like this. Dr. Lisa Carter was working at the Luna research station when her computers started screaming warnings. She was studying radio signals from deep space, looking for signs of alien life. Now, it seemed like alien life had found them first. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, trying to get a clear picture of what was coming. "This is Luna's station-to-Earth defense," she spoke into her radio. "I'm seeing at least 60 large ships approaching from the direction of Alpha Centauri. They're not using any technology we recognize. On Earth, people were starting their normal day." In Chicago, Captain Ryan Kelly was having breakfast with his wife when his phone buzzed with an emergency alert. All military personnel were ordered to report immediately. Ryan kissed his wife goodbye and ran to his car, not knowing it would be the last time he would see her alive. The alien ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. They were massive, dark things that looked like they were grown rather than built. Strange organic curves covered their hulls. They pulsed with an evil green light. Jake tried to open communication with the alien fleet. "Unknown ships. This is Admiral Morrison of Earth Defense. Please identify yourselves and state your intentions." There was no answer. The alien ships kept moving toward Earth, getting faster as they got closer. "Here," Amy said, "they're charging weapons. Energy readings are off the charts." Jake felt his stomach drop. "All stations. Battle alert. Launch all fighters. Get every ship we have into space now." But it was too late. The aliens had planned this attack perfectly. They had studied Earth for years, learning about human defenses and waiting for the right moment to strike. The first plasma beams hit New York City at 9:15 a.m. The green energy burned through buildings like they were made of paper. Millions of people died in the first few seconds. The Empire State Building melted like a candle. Central Park became a crater of burning glass. In Tokyo, people were eating lunch when the sky turned green. The alien weapons hit the city center, and the explosion could be seen from space. The bullet trains stopped running. The busy streets became rivers of fire. London was next. Big Ben fell over as plasma beams cut through it. A Thames River began to boil from the heat. Moscow's Red Square became a smoking hole in the ground. Captain Ryan Kelly reached his base just as Chicago came under attack, as the sky filled with green light and buildings started falling all around him. He ran toward the nearest shelter, helping people along the way. Children were crying, adults were screaming. The world was ending, and nobody knew what to do. "Get to the underground tunnels," Ryan shouted to a group of scared civilians. "Move, move, move." He grabbed a little girl who had lost her mother and carried her to safety. Amy Rodriguez climbed into her fighter jet, her hands shaking as she started the engines. Around her, other pilots were doing the same thing. They had trained for war, but not for this. The alien ships were so big that her entire squadron looked like mosquitoes flying at elephants. "Stay together," she radioed to her team. "Hit them with everything we have." The human fighters attacked bravely, but their weapons barely scratched the alien hulls. The enemy ships had shields that turned human missiles into harmless fireworks. One by one, Amy watched her friends die as alien weapons shot them down. Jake Morrison watched the battle from his command center, feeling helpless. His orbital defense platforms fired their biggest guns at the alien fleet, but nothing worked. The enemy ships were too strong, too advanced. "Sir," one of his officers said, "we're getting reports of ground troops landing in all major cities." The aliens were not just bombing Earth from space. They were also sending soldiers to the surface. These creatures looked like giant insects, standing 10 feet tall, with 4 arms and armor that seemed to be part of their bodies. They carried weapons that shot balls of energy, and they killed everything they saw. In the ruins of Chicago, Ryan Kelly led a group of survivors through the burning streets. The alien soldiers were everywhere, hunting down humans like animals. Ryan had his rifle, but the bullets just bounced off the creature's natural armor. This way, he whispered to the people following him, "Stay quiet, don't let them see you." An alien soldier turned the corner ahead of them. It was huge and terrible, with glowing red eyes and mandibles that dripped with green fluid. Ryan raised his rifle and fired, but the bullets did nothing. The creature looked at him and raised its weapon. Ryan pushed the little girl behind a burned car and dove to the side. The alien's energy blast melted the concrete where he had been standing. He rolled and fired again, aiming for the creature's eyes. This time, one bullet found a weak spot as the alien staggered and fell. "Run," Ryan shouted. "Run now." By the end of the first day, Earth's major cities were in ruins. Billions of people were dead. The human military was broken and scattered. The aliens controlled the skies and were taking over the ground. In an underground bunker beneath Colorado Springs, General Kevin Walsh gathered the surviving military leaders. The room was full of smoke and the smell of fear. Everyone looked tired and defeated. "We need to face the truth," Kevin said. "We lost. Earth has fallen. But we're not dead yet. We need to go underground, hide, and figure out how to fight back." Dr. Lisa Carter had escaped from Luna Station just before the aliens destroyed it. She brought important information with her. "I've been studying their communication signals," she told the group. "These aliens have been watching us for decades. They know everything about our weapons, our military, our weaknesses. This wasn't a random attack. They planned this perfectly." Jake Morrison, his uniform torn and dirty, stood up slowly. "Then we need to become something they don't expect. We need to change. We need to become stronger." Outside the bunker, alien ships flew through the smoky sky. Green lights swept across the ruins of human civilization. The first day of the invasion was over, but the war for Earth's survival was just beginning. 3 months had passed since the aliens destroyed Earth's cities. The sky was always dark now, filled with smoke and the green glow of alien ships. Danny Hughes crawled through the ruins of Denver, his rifle ready and his team of 5 Marines. Following close behind him, Danny had been a sergeant before the invasion. He was one of the leaders of the human resistance. His face was dirty and thin from eating only canned food and whatever they could find in the ruins. His team looked the same way. They all looked like ghosts. "Contact ahead," whispered Private Johnson, the youngest member of Danny's team. 2 alien patrol units moving through the old shopping center. Danny looked through his broken binoculars. The alien soldiers were huge and scary as always, but now humans had learned a few things about fighting them. The creatures were strong and had good armor, but they were not very smart. They followed the same patrol routes every day. They made noise when they walked. And most important, they could not see very well in the dark. "We wait until they split up," Danny said quietly to his team. "Remember, aim for the joints in their armor, the neck and the places where their arms connect to their bodies, and stay quiet." Far underground, in a secret lab built inside an old mine, Kate Sullivan was working with tools and parts taken from destroyed alien weapons. Kate had been an engineer before the war. Now she was trying to save the human race by learning how alien technology worked. The room was lit by battery-powered lights. Tables were covered with alien metal that seemed to change color when she touched it. Strange symbols were carved into pieces of what looked like crystal. Kate had been working for weeks to understand how the aliens made their energy weapons. "Dr. Foster, come look at this," Kate called to the older man working at another table. Alan Foster had been a physics professor before the invasion. Now he was Kate's partner in trying to unlock alien secrets. Alan walked over and looked at the device Kate was holding. It was small and smooth, taken from an alien soldier's weapon. When Kate touched it with a copper wire, it glowed softly. Responding to electrical current, Alan said, his voice excited. "But look at this energy reading. It's putting out 10 times more power than we're putting in. That should be impossible. Kate smiled for the first time in weeks. Not impossible. Just based on science we don't understand yet. But we're learning. High above them, Amy Rodriguez flew her fighter jet through the ruins of what used to be the Denver airport. Amy had been lucky to survive the first day of the invasion. Most of her squadron was dead. Now she led the few remaining pilots in quick hit-and-run attacks against alien supply convoys. Her radio crackled with Danny's voice. "Sky Team, this is Ground Team. Yeah, we have eyes on a big alien supply truck moving down Highway 25. Can you give us some help?" Amy looked down through her cockpit window. She could see the alien vehicle moving slowly along the broken road. It was carrying supplies to alien bases, probably weapons and food for their soldiers. "I see it, Ground Team." Moving in for attack run, Amy dove her fighter toward the alien truck. She fired her missiles and pulled up hard, feeling the GI forces push her back into her seat. Behind her, the truck exploded in green flame. "Good hit, Sky Team." Danny's voice came through the radio. "We're moving in to grab what we can from the wreck." This was how humans fought now. Small attacks, quick escapes. Hide and run and live to fight another day. It was not glorious, but it kept them alive. In the underground bunker in Colorado, General Kevin Walsh was meeting with his remaining officers. The room was small and cramped, lit by candles because they had to save their batteries. Maps of the United States covered the walls, marked with red X's where alien bases had been built. "Reports from around the world are coming in," Kevin said to the group. "Resistance cells in Europe, Asia, and Africa are all doing the same thing we are. Small attacks, gathering intelligence, trying to stay alive." Dr. Lisa Carter stood up. She looked tired, but determined. "I've been analyzing the alien communications we've intercepted. There's something important you all need to know." Lisa walked to a large map of the world. Red dots marked alien installations. "They're not just conquering us, they're changing. Our planet, the air is getting thicker. Temperature is going up. They're making Earth more like their home world." The room was quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. Even if humans could hide underground forever, eventually Earth would become a place where humans could not live. "How long do we have?" Kevin asked. "Maybe 2 years before the changes become permanent," Lisa answered. Danny's team had reached the destroyed alien truck. They moved carefully through the wreckage, looking for anything useful. Danny found a box of alien energy cells, the power sources for their weapons. Johnson found something even better. "Sergeant, you need to see this," Johnson called out. He was standing over an alien soldier who was badly hurt but still alive. This was the first live alien they had ever captured. The creature looked up at them with its large red eyes. It was bleeding green fluid from several wounds. Danny knelt down next to it, wondering if it could understand human language. "Why are you doing this to us?" Danny asked. "Why did you attack our planet?" The alien's mouth moved. Strange clicking sounds came out, but then it spoke in broken English. "Your species, ... dangerous. You adapt too fast. You learn too quickly. We destroy dangerous species before they become threat." Danny felt cold. "How many other species have you destroyed?" 17 worlds, billions of lives. All dangerous species. Must die." The alien's eyes were getting dim. "Your species worst of all. You will learn our weapons. You will become like us." "That cannot happen." The alien died before it could say anything more. Danny stared at its body, understanding for the first time how big this war really was. Humans were not the first species the aliens had attacked. They would not be the last. Back in Kate's underground lab, she and Alan had made their biggest discovery yet. They had successfully built a small energy weapon using alien technology combined with human electronics. It was rough and ugly compared to alien weapons, but it worked. "We did it," Kate said, holding the device in her hands. "It's not as powerful as theirs, but it can punch through their armor."
Alan
was already thinking about the next step. "If we can make one, we can make 100. If we can make 100, we can make 1,000. Kate nodded. "We need to get this to the resistance cells. Every human fighter needs one of these." Above-ground alien ships continued their patrols. Green light swept across the ruins of human cities. But deep underground, in hidden labs and bunkers and caves, humans were learning and adapting and preparing to fight back. The war was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. 6 months after the invasion began, the air on Earth was getting harder to breathe. Kate Sullivan worked day and night in her underground lab, knowing that time was running out for the human race. The alien machines were changing Earth's atmosphere faster than anyone had expected. "We need to test the big device today," Kate told Dr. Alan Foster as they stood in front of their latest creation. It was huge, taking up most of the underground room. Cables and alien crystals were connected to human computers in ways that should not have worked, but somehow did. "Are you sure it's ready?" Alan asked. "If this fails, we might not get another chance." Kate looked at the readouts on her screen. "The quantum field generator is as ready as it's going to be. We've tested it on small alien devices, and it works every time. And we need to see if it can work on their big ships." Above them, Captain Pete Thompson was preparing his submarine. For the most dangerous mission of his life, the USS Defiance had been modified with Kate's quantum field device. Pete's job was to get close enough to alien ships to test whether the device could disable them. Pete had been a submarine captain. For 15 years, he had always fought underwater battles, but now he would have to surface and fight in the open air. His crew of 30 men knew they might not come back from this mission. "All hands prepare to surface," Pete announced over the ship's communication system. "Remember, we stay calm and we follow the plan. Today, we find out if we can really hurt these aliens." The submarine rose from the depths of San Francisco Bay. Pete looked through the periscope and saw the ruins of the city. Alien ships patrolled the sky above the broken buildings. 3 patrol boats floated on the water, each one as big as a destroyer. "Target the closest ship," Pete told his weapons officer. "Activate the quantum field on my command." Danny Hughes and his resistance team watched from the hills above the bay. They had radio contact with the submarine and with resistance cells all over the world. If Kate's device worked, this would be the signal for humans everywhere to start fighting back. "Come on, Pete," Danny whispered to himself. "Show these aliens what humans can do." The quantum field device hummed to life inside the submarine. Had explained that it would disrupt the alien technology at the most basic level, making their weapons and shields stop working. But nobody knew for sure if it would work on a real alien ship. Pete gave the command. "Activate quantum field now." Strange blue light surrounded the submarine. The water around them began to glow. On the alien patrol boat closest to them, lights started flickering and going out. "It's working," Pete's weapons officer shouted. "Their ship is losing power." The alien patrol boat started to fall from the sky. Its engines stopped working. Weapons went dead. A huge ship crashed into the bay with a splash that could be heard for miles. "Target the second ship," Pete ordered. His crew was excited now. For the first time since the invasion, they were winning. The second alien ship tried to escape, but the quantum field reached it too. Its shields collapsed, and its weapons shut down. The ship spun out of control and smashed into the ruins of a skyscraper. Amy Rodriguez was flying her fighter jet high above the bay when she saw the alien ships falling. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. "Ground control, this is Sky Leader," she radioed to the resistance base. "The alien ships are actually falling out of the sky. Repeat, we are winning this fight." A third alien ship managed to get away, but its crew was panicking. They had never seen their technology fail like this before. They sent emergency signals to their commanders, warning them that humans had developed a new weapon. In underground bunkers around the world, resistance leaders got the message they had been waiting for. General Kevin Walsh spoke into his radio from Colorado. "All resistance cells, this is command. Operation Rising Sun is a go." Repeat, Operation Rising Sun is a go. To attack all alien installations in your area. Danny Hughes led his team down from the hills toward the alien base in the ruins of Denver. For months, they had been planning this attack. Now they had weapons that could actually hurt the aliens. "Remember the plan," Danny told his Marines as they moved through the rubble. "Hit them fast and hard. Use the new plasma rifles Kate made for us. Aim for their command center." The resistance fighters had trained for this moment. They knew where. The aliens were weakest. They knew how to move without being seen. Most importantly, they now had weapons that could punch through alien armor. Danny's team reached the edge of the alien base. It was built inside what used to be a shopping mall. Green lights showed where the alien guards were standing. Danny counted 12 guards, all carrying energy weapons. "Johnson, Martinez, go around to the back entrance," Danny whispered. "Rodriguez, you're with me? We go in the front. Wait for my signal." Danny raised his new plasma rifle. It was heavy and made from parts of alien technology, but it felt good in his hands. He aimed at the nearest alien guard and pulled the trigger. The green energy beam hit the alien in the center of its chest. The creature's armor cracked and it fell to the ground. For the first time, humans had weapons that were as good as alien weapons. "Go, go, go," Danny shouted. The battle for the Denver base lasted 2 hours. The aliens fought hard, but they were not used to humans who could match their firepower. One by one, the resistance fighters pushed deeper into the base. Similar battles were happening all over Earth. In London, resistance fighters attacked the alien command post built in the ruins of Big Ben. In Tokyo, human soldiers fought their way through alien defenses around the Imperial Palace. In Moscow, Kate's plasma weapons helped humans retake Red Square. For the first time in 6 months, humans were winning battles instead of just surviving them, but the aliens were not giving up. High above Earth, in their largest command ship, the alien leaders were making new plans. The humans had become more dangerous than we expected, the alien commander told his officers. They learn too fast. They adapt too quickly. We cannot allow this species to survive. "What are your orders?" asked one of the officers. "Call for reinforcements from the home fleet. We will destroy this planet completely rather than let these humans escape into space." The alien commander did not know that Dr. Lisa Carter was listening to their communications from her hidden base on the moon. Lisa had survived when Luna Station was destroyed and had been secretly monitoring alien transmissions ever since. "Earth Command, this is Luna Base," Lisa radioed to General Kevin Walsh. "I have bad news. The aliens are calling for backup. A much larger fleet is coming from their home system." Kevin felt his heart sink. Just when humans were starting to win, the aliens were bringing in more ships. "How long do we have?" Kevin asked. "Maybe 6 weeks before the new fleet arrives. And Kevin, this new fleet is huge. Hundreds of ships, maybe thousands." Kate Sullivan was celebrating her successful quantum field test when she got the message about the alien reinforcements. She looked around her lab at all the work she had done, all the weapons she had built. "We need to think bigger," she told Alan. "We can't just defend Earth anymore. We need to take the fight to them." Alan looked confused. "What do you mean?" Kate walked over to a computer screen showing the design for a new type of engine. "I mean, we need to build ships of our own. Need to go into space and stop those reinforcements before they get here." Outside Kate's underground lab, the first human victory celebration in 6 months was beginning. Resistance fighters who had been hiding in sewers and caves were coming out into the open. Children who had not seen sunlight in months were playing in the ruins of their cities. But even as humans celebrated their first real victory, new dangers were heading toward Earth from the depths of space. The war was far from over. In fact, the hardest part was just beginning. 1 year after the first invasion, Kate Sullivan stood in the biggest factory humans had ever built. It was hidden inside a mountain in Colorado, and it was building spaceships. Real spaceships that could travel faster than light and fight alien warships. "The first ship is ready for launch," Kate told Captain Pete Thompson as they walked through the factory. Workers moved everywhere, building weapons and engines from a mix of human and alien technology. "We're calling her the TLS Freedom." Looked up at the ship through the factory's giant windows. It was beautiful and deadly, with smooth lines and weapons that glowed with blue energy. It was smaller than the alien ships, but it looked faster and more dangerous. "How many ships do we have ready?" Pete asked. 12 ships are finished, and 20 more will be ready next week," Kate answered. "Each ship has a crew of 50 people. The best pilots, the best engineers, the best fighters we have left." Amy Rodriguez was training with her new squadron in the mountains of Montana. She was no longer just a fighter pilot. Now she was a squadron commander, leading other pilots who would fly the small attack ships that launched from the bigger vessels. "Listen. Up, people," Amy told her pilots as they gathered around a holographic display of the Alpha Centauri system. "This is where the alien reinforcement fleet is gathering out. Our job is to hit them before they can reach Earth." One of the younger pilots raised her hand. "Ma'am, how do we know we can win? These aliens have been fighting wars for thousands of years." Amy smiled. "Because we're not fighting their kind of war anymore. We're fighting our kind of war. Fast, smart, and mean." Dr. Lisa Carter had moved from her secret base on the moon to the new command center on Earth. She was now in charge of all intelligence operations, using captured alien technology to spy on enemy communications. "I've got good news and bad news," Lisa told General Kevin Walsh during their morning briefing. "The good news is that the alien reinforcement fleet is smaller than we thought, about 200 ships instead of 1,000. "What's the bad news?" Kevin asked. "The bad news is that their ships are much bigger and more powerful than the ones that attacked Earth. Each one of their new ships is the size of a small city." Kevin looked at the images Lisa had gathered. Alien ships were huge and covered with weapons. They looked like flying fortresses built to destroy entire planets.
Ow.
"Do our new ships have a chance against those monsters?" Kevin asked. "Kate thinks so," Lisa answered. "Our ships are faster and harder to hit, and we have one big advantage the aliens don't expect." "What's that?" "We're not trying to conquer anything. We're just trying to survive. That makes us more dangerous than they think." Danny Hughes was no longer hiding in the ruins of Denver. He was now a major, leading ground forces in the liberation of Earth. His job was to clear out the remaining alien bases while the space fleet prepared for the big battle. "The aliens are pulling back," Danny reported to his commanders. "They're abandoning their smaller bases and gathering at their main command centers." This was good news for the human resistance. With fewer aliens on the ground, civilians could start rebuilding their lives. Cities were slowly coming back to life as people emerged from their underground shelters. But Danny knew the real fight was just beginning. The space battle would decide everything. The human fleet failed, Earth would be destroyed completely. Captain Pete Thompson stood on the bridge of the TLS Freedom as it launched from Earth's surface. He had 12 ships under his command, each one carrying the hopes of the human race. "All ships? This is Admiral Thompson." Pete spoke into his radio. He had been promoted to Admiral just for this mission. "Set course for Alpha Centauri. We have a war to win." The human fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel using engines that Kate had built from alien technology. The journey to Alpha Centauri would take 3 days. 3 days to prepare for the most important battle in human history. On the second day of the journey, Pete gathered his ship commanders for a final planning meeting. The holographic display showed the Alpha Centauri system and the positions of the alien fleet. "The enemy has about 200 ships," Pete explained to his commanders. "They're big and slow, we're small and fast. We hit them hard, we hit them fast, and we don't let them hit us back." Amy Rodriguez studied the battle plan from her position as squadron leader. "What about their shields and armor?" "Kate's quantum weapons should punch right through them," Pete answered. "But we need to get close enough to use them." "That's where your fighters come in, Amy. You keep their attention while our big ships move into position." The human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Alpha Centauri system. Ahead of them, the alien reinforcement fleet was arranged in perfect formation. The enemy ships were huge and dark, covered with weapons and glowing with evil green light. "All ships, battle stations," Pete ordered. "Today we show these aliens what happens when you attack humanity." The battle began when Amy's fighter squadron launched from the human ships. 24 small, fast fighters screamed toward the alien fleet, their weapons blazing. The aliens were caught off guard by the speed and aggressiveness of the human attack. "Hit their command ship first," Amy radioed to her pilots. "Make them think we're trying to destroy their leader." The alien fleet began to turn toward the fighter. Attack, just as Pete had planned. While the aliens focused on the small fighters, the human battleships moved into position for their real attack. "Fire quantum torpedoes." Pete ordered. Blue streaks of energy shot from the human ships toward the alien fleet. The torpedoes were Kate's newest weapons, designed to disrupt alien technology on a massive scale. When they hit the alien ships, entire sections of the enemy fleet went dark. "Direct hits on 6 enemy ships," reported Pete's weapons officer. "They're losing power and falling out of formation." But the aliens were not helpless. The remaining ships began firing back with massive energy weapons. Green beams of destruction reached across space toward the human fleet. "Evasive maneuvers," Pete shouted. "Don't let them get a lock on us." The human ships danced through space, moving in patterns the aliens could not predict. They had learned from months of fighting on Earth: stay mobile, hit hard, and never fight fair. Amy's fighters were having their own battle among the alien ships. Her pilots flew between the huge enemy vessels, shooting at weapon systems and engines. It was like flying through a forest of metal trees that were all trying to kill you. "Squadron leader, this is Pilot Jackson," came a voice over Amy's radio. "I'm seeing something strange on the big command ship. It's like they're trying to send a signal somewhere." Amy looked at her scanner. The alien command ship was indeed sending a message, but not to its own fleet. It was sending a signal toward deep space. "Oh no," Amy whispered. She opened her radio to the entire human fleet. "All ships. The aliens are calling for more help. We need to finish this fight now." Pete heard Amy's warning and made a decision. That would change everything. "All ships, full attack. Ram the enemy command ship if you have to. You cannot let them call for more reinforcements." The 12 human ships charged straight at the center of the alien fleet. It was the most dangerous thing they could do, but it was also the last thing the aliens expected. The human ships fired everything they had as they raced toward the enemy command vessel. Kate's Quantum weapons tore through alien shields like paper. Human missiles found their targets. The alien command ship, massive and powerful as it was, began to break apart under the concentrated attack. "Command ship is destroyed," Amy reported. "The signal is stopped." The battle continued for 6 more hours, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. Without their command ship, the alien fleet fell into confusion. Human ships picked off the enemy vessels one by one until only a few survivors remained to flee back toward their home system. Pete stood on his bridge, looking at the wreckage of the alien fleet floating in space. His 12 ships had defeated 200 alien warships. It seemed impossible, but they had done it. "All ships, this is Admiral Thompson," Pete announced. "The reinforcement fleet has been destroyed. We're going home." But even as the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, Pete knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would send more fleets. The war was far from over. But for the first time since the invasion began, humans had proven they could win battles in space as well as on the ground. The revolution had begun. 5 years after the first alien attack on Earth, Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the TLS Retribution, the largest ship humans had ever built. Around him, 300 human ships flew in formation toward the alien homeworld. But these were not just human ships anymore. Many were crewed by aliens from dozens of different species that humans had freed from alien slavery. "Admiral, we're receiving a message from the Zephyrian fleet," reported his communications officer. "Captain Velka says his people are ready to fight alongside us." Jake nodded. The Zephyrians were bird-like creatures whose world had been destroyed by the aliens 50 years ago. When humans freed the survivors from alien prison camps, they immediately joined the human cause. Now they flew some of the fastest ships in the Liberation Fleet. "Tell Captain Velka that all species fight as equals today," Jake replied. "We end the alien empire forever." Dr. Kate Sullivan was no longer working in underground labs. She now led the science division aboard the fleet's command ship. Her latest invention was the most terrible weapon humans had ever created. She called it the Biodisruptor, and it could shut down alien life itself. "Are you sure this weapon is necessary?" asked Dr. Alan Foster, who still worked as her partner. "It seems so... Final." Kate looked at the reports from the worlds they had liberated billions of dead civilians. Entire species wiped out. Children who would never be born because their parents had been murdered by the alien empire. "They chose to be monsters," Kate said quietly. "They made genocide their way of life. Now they have to face the consequences." Captain Pete Thompson, commanded a fleet of stealth ships that had already reached the alien homeworld. His job was to disable the planet's defenses before the main attack began. Pete had become an expert at sneaking past alien sensors and striking without warning. "Ghost Squadron, this is Shadow Leader," Pete radioed to his team. "Enemy orbital platforms are in sight. Beginning attack, run now." Pete's ships were invisible to alien sensors, built using technology stolen from a species the aliens had enslaved. The alien orbital defense platforms never saw the attack coming. One by one, they exploded in silent flashes of light. On the surface of the alien homeworld, panic was spreading through the alien capital city. For 1,000 years, no enemy had ever reached their planet. The aliens had always been the attackers, never the defenders. The alien emperor, an ancient creature that had ruled for centuries, called his war council together in the imperial palace. The creature was huge and terrible, with 6 arms and skin, like black metal. "How did these humans find our world?" the emperor demanded. "How did they learn to build ships that can travel so far?" One of his generals, a smaller version of the emperor, answered nervously, "Your Majesty, we underestimated them. They learn faster than any species we have ever encountered. They take our technology and make it better, but they turn our own weapons against us. Then we will destroy their homeworld," the emperor decided. "Send every ship we have to Earth. Kill every human in the galaxy." But it was too late for that plan. Human ships were already dropping out of faster-than-light travel all around the alien solar system. The Liberation Fleet was massive, carrying soldiers from 50 different worlds that wanted revenge against the alien empire. Amy Rodriguez. Now a full colonel led her fighter wings in the first attack. Her pilots included humans, Zephyrians, the crystal-based Silthri, and many others. All of them had lost family to the aliens. All of them wanted justice. "All wings, this is Strike Leader Amy announced. Target the alien shipyards first. Don't let them launch any more ships." The battle for the alien homeworld was the largest space battle in galactic history. Thousands of ships fought among the planets and moons of the alien solar system. Human quantum weapons faced alien plasma cannons. Liberation fighters battled Imperial guards. But the most important battle was happening on the surface of the alien capital world. General Kevin Walsh, now commanding ground forces from a dozen different species, led the assault on the Imperial Palace. "Remember," Kevin told his mixed army of humans and aliens, "we're not here for revenge. We're here for justice. The alien leaders will face trial for their crimes." Major Danny Hughes led the first troops into the alien palace. The building was huge and dark, filled with trophies from conquered worlds. Danny saw statues made from the bones of dead species. He saw artwork painted with the blood of murdered civilians. "This place is a monument to genocide," Danny said to his soldiers. "Today we tear it down." The alien emperor's guards fought desperately, but they had never faced an enemy like this before. Humans fought with tactics the aliens could not understand. The liberated species fought with fury the aliens had never seen. When Danny's troops finally reached the emperor's throne room, they found the ancient ruler sitting alone on a throne made from the skulls of his victims. The creature looked at the mixed army of humans and aliens with something that might have been respect. "So," the emperor said in perfect English, "the prey has become the predator. How fascinating." "You're under arrest for genocide," Danny announced. "You will face trial for the murder of billions of innocent people." The emperor laughed, a sound like metal scraping against stone. "Arrest? Trial? You cannot judge us by your primitive concepts of justice. We are the superior species. We have the right to rule or destroy all others." "Yeah, that right?" said a new voice. Jake Morrison walked into the throne room, his uniform torn from battle, but his eyes hard as steel. "You lost it when you attacked Earth." The trial of the alien emperor and his war council took place on a space station built from the ruins of the alien capital ship. Representatives from every liberated species served as judges. The evidence of alien crimes filled entire computer databases. Kate Sullivan presented the final piece of evidence. Recordings taken from alien computers showing the systematic destruction of 17 different civilizations. The recordings showed alien soldiers killing children, destroying hospitals, burning entire cities, How the defendant's empire, Kate told the court, was built on the principle that might makes right. They believed that superior technology gave them the right to commit any crime. Today we prove them wrong. The emperor was found guilty on all charges. His punishment was to spend the rest of his very long life in prison, thinking about the billions of people he had murdered. But the real victory was not the trial. It was what happened after the alien empire fell. The liberated worlds formed a new alliance, with Earth as its center. Humans became the protectors of peace in their part of the galaxy. Dr. Lisa Carter, now director of the Galactic Communications Network, sent a message to every world in known space. The age of conquest is over. The age of cooperation has begun.
8 on.
Earth. Children from dozens of different species played together in parks that had been rebuilt where alien bombs once fell. Human engineers worked with alien scientists to heal worlds that had been damaged by war. Former enemies became friends. Jake Morrison stood in his office on the new space station orbiting Earth, looking out at ships from 100 different worlds. Some were bringing refugees home to their rebuilt planets. Others were carrying supplies to worlds still recovering from alien rule. Admiral Hazade announced, "We're receiving a distress call from the Outer Rim. Pirates are attacking a colony." Ship. Jake smiled grimly. There would always be new threats, new challenges, new fights for justice. But now humans were not fighting alone. They had allies, friends, and a promise to keep. "Assemble a rescue fleet," Jake ordered. "Send a message. To those pirates, tell them that this galaxy is under human protection now." The promise had been kept. The aliens had struck Earth first, but they would never invade again. No one would. Humanity had become the guardians of peace among the stars. They would never forget the price of that responsibility. In the rebuilt cities of Earth, in the new colonies on distant worlds, in the ships that patrolled the space between the stars, humans remembered the lesson they had learned. Sometimes the only way to ensure peace is to be strong enough to fight for it. The war was over. The age of human protection had begun.